that can go outside.
Tide.
My name is Kate Bryan. I'm with Battenkill Valley Health Center. And in 2022, in February of 2022, we partnered with the Vermont Foodbank to bring Veggie Van Go Drop and Go program to Arlington. So the process of Veggie Van Go and the Drop and Go model is specific to bringing health centers and the community and food access together. And the idea is to bring fresh produce and vegetables, fruits, to food deserts. So Arlington is considered a food desert because we don't have a grocery store. You have to go to Bennington or Manchester to get those types of things. We do have some lovely convenience stores in town that offer fruits and vegetables, but at a cost that most people can't afford or find reasonable. So this allows folks that live and work in Arlington, Sandgate, or Sunderland to participate, get some maybe fresh fruits that they've never tried before or vegetables they've never tried before. And we work with those folks to offer them ideas of how to cook them. So, hey, you can roast beets, you can boil beets, you can eat them raw, and providing them with the tools that they need to help them try these new vegetables out. We're just the facilitators of this much bigger program here in the state of Vermont through the Vermont Foodbank. And I started my time with them as a volunteer in Bennington right at the beginning of COVID and was like, how can I bring this to my community and to my neighbors? And so fortunately, I hounded the really nice folks at the Vermont Foodbank enough that when they had this idea of a drop and go, so it is different than most Veggie Van Go programs, which have Vermont Foodbank staff on site and then volunteers. Ours is, as the health center, as the host of the program, we pull our volunteers together. So the volunteers that help us do this program here in Arlington come from Shaftesbury, they come from Bennington, Dorset, Manchester, just over the border in Cambridge to help provide this wonderful program to the folks who live and work in Arlington. This program wouldn't happen without the help of so many volunteers. And so we put out a call out early on when we started the program to our patients at the health center, opportunities that you can help your fellow patients and your neighbors. And so we start with when the Vermont Foodbank delivers the pallets of food, and we don't know until that morning what we're receiving. They deliver the pallets of food, and then I have volunteers that help me bag those foods. We want to make the process of the distribution as easy and seamless as possible, and part of that is being prepared.
When we get through the 100, let's hold off. Take a minute. I can breathe.
One of the cool things that we've just actually happened this past month is Hannah Shapansky, who is the AmeriCorps Vista at the Arlington Common, and we spoke recently with the Arlington High School Community Service group, and they're looking for ways that they could volunteer their time in the community. And so we talked about our Veggie Van Go event. And last month, we had 4 students come to the packing event. And so I really love what happens when we have teenagers and our older volunteers, the conversations and the interests. Our volunteers will say, so what sports are you playing? What's your favorite class? And it really gets the students talking to some of these folks a lot of whom live alone. And so the relationships that are formed there have been pretty fun. This week we had Piper, who's a rising senior, and she joined us for packaging, and everyone was so excited to see her back again. And a lot of my volunteers probably this fall, if Piper's in the school play or if she's in a soccer game, they'll show up to it because it gives them purpose and gives them something to do as well, which is just, you know, a one-off of what we're doing here. So, so many opportunities to bridge generations by coming together to help our neighbors. During packing, we pack up about 150 bags and have those set. I then do special deliveries to the Arlington area childcare. So one of the kind of the mission of this is to create access to food. And so that's not just bringing the food to a central location, but meeting people where they're at. And so recognizing that kids are getting picked up at 4 o'clock, maybe at the end of the day for a parent's workday, our distribution is already over by that point. So we bring the food to them so that when they pick up their child, they can pick up their food. We work with a local manufacturing company in town, and their shift ends at 2, too early for our distribution. So we deliver to them. And so we want to make it that if you live and work in Arlington, Sandgate, and Sunderland, that you have access to the foods that you need. The newest thing that we've been able to offer during Veggie Van Go is we've opened up the food shelf so people can shop during that day as well. Today I had 5 families shop while we were doing distribution. And so that's probably the average. They see a lot more visitors during their regular hours of operations, which are the first and third Tuesday of the month. But our event happening on the second Monday sometimes helps to fill that gap as well. So we're able to offer not just the foods that are Veggie Van Go distribution, but the customers can shop as well. One of the other partnerships that we have at the health center is we work with the local high school and the local grammar schools. And one of the things that we do when we go in and present on, you know, health topics is we're really interested to find out if kids are involved in making the grocery list, going grocery shopping. Do they have a say in what's brought into their house? And, you know, we hear a lot of stories. We hear everything from, you know, my mom and dad or my grandma buys the same stuff every week. And, you know, it's all she knows how to cook, or it's all he knows what to buy. We've had kids share with us that, you know, we live on a pretty fixed income, and my mom works at night, and so she buys us a lot of prepared foods, and so they're easy for us to make while she's working. And we don't really have that opportunity to have vegetables or fruits. And so having had that feedback from kiddos, it's really neat to continue those conversations when they come through the drive-through for the distribution. So we have a lot of parents that pick up their kids at school and then come through the drive-through. So we'll say, have you ever tried, you know, watermelon radishes or rutabaga or a beet, or you know, have you ever eaten a tomato like an apple? And, you know, people can have the freedom to do that when they know that they haven't, like where they don't feel like they're wasting their money or wasting their food. And that's not to say that people are less mindful about the food that they receive from us. It's just saying that it's a less of a stress. And so if the kiddos don't like it, you know, mom, dad, grandma doesn't feel like they've wasted money on something that's just going to go bad. But we've also heard from people who are like, oh, I'm not really a sweet potato person, and then they've shared it with their neighbor. And so, you know, as long as it's finding the kitchen, the plate, and then the belly of someone who could use it, that's all that matters. The things I want folks to know about this program is that it's open to anyone. There's no prerequisites. You don't have to meet a minimum of family income. You don't have to have a certain household size. If you have the desire to try some fresh fruits and vegetables, or you have the need, come see us. Again, really the only prerequisite is that you live or work in Arlington, Sandgate, or Sunderland, because there are Veggie Van Go programs in Manchester and in Bennington. And so we just want to make sure that we're meeting the folks where they're at and being able to provide that. So yeah, I want folks to know that there should be no stigma attached to joining us and coming through our distribution. We have folks who will come through just to say hi, and they'll say, I'm all set today, but I didn't want to miss you this week. And so that's really always lovely to be able to see our regulars and being able to touch base. I recently had a new grandson born, and today it was really sweet to have everyone asking about him. It really, again, it just fills my heart to be able to have those types of conversations with folks. It definitely starts with access to food, but it ends with so much more than that. It's really just connecting with people. I think my first customer today, she got here about a half hour early and said, I just wanted to get out of the house. And now I got to talk to you a little bit longer because no one was in line yet. So if I can provide produce and nutritious food, but I can also provide a smile, yeah, it's awesome.
Hi, I'm Berta Winokur, and I live in Bennington, and I am happily retired. I was helping in Bennington to do the same at Veggie Van Go, and it was this kind of physically more challenging, really cold outside, and huge scale compared to Arlington, and I just really appreciate the close-knit feeling that there is here doing this with the team. It's just warm and friendly. We greet each other with hugs. It's a good feeling of teamwork. Happy to see each other. After the last month has passed, we exchange recipes, and it's just really friendly. I look forward to Mondays here. It's very, very helpful. It's open. It's inclusive. We don't ask questions, other than how many, families are you feeding, that sort of thing. Just please take advantage of, what's here, the fresh vegetables, etc. Volunteering is just it's a very heartwarming experience. There's a lot of food insecurity in the community. I volunteer here. I also volunteer for Grateful Hearts in Bennington, where we prepare a lot of gleaned and donated foods for the food pantry that can be picked up. The food is also brought over to Arlington, to Battenkill Health. There's a great need for volunteers, and it's just a really good way to spend time.
I kind of have a little saying, and it's not new really to anyone, but really fits this program and how I feel about it. And we're not just filling bellies, we're filling hearts. And we are able to provide food to those in need, and also those who live alone or maybe have issues with transportation, and so they don't get to the grocery store often. And it's easy to come here to the Arlington Food Shelf once a month to pick those things up. I get to know my neighbors. I get to see some of my teachers from when I was in high school. I get to see, folks who really watched me grow up. And it's just a really neat, fulfilling way. So it might fill their bellies, but it definitely fills my heart.